Good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to come in here and join me. Hopefully, some of you will actually come in here and talk with me. If you do want to come in and talk, that's what this is for. Send me an email at hvacafterdark@gmail.com. hvacafterdark@gmail.com if you want to join in. What's going on? What's going on? Sorry about the delay. Hey, Jeff. Martez, hey, thank you, buddy. Wanted to wait for Ted. I just want to say real quick that just a reminder that if anybody comes in the video and starts shit or starts shit in the chat, you're going, I'm not putting up with it. So hi from New York. How you doing, Ken? What's up, Tom? Yeah, Ted had a good giveaway tonight. We gave away some rigid drills. There's Ted right there. Ted is in the house. How you doing, K Services? All right, so who wants to come in and talk? Again, like I said, HVAC afterdark@gmail.com. Come on in and talk with me. I hear you, Ted. No, Bradley, I don't podcast anymore, buddy. I'm just doing YouTube. And I'm really enjoying doing YouTube. Ryan, I don't really understand your question. I don't think Hernandez is here, Ted, if that's who you're talking about. Oh no, I'm not bummed out. I'm sending a text and I'm tired. We've been busy. I'm good. Well, I appreciate that, Bradley. Thank you for subscribing. No, Sam, I am. I still am. I'm probably going to wait till summer's over because I don't want to take off during the busy season, and I still don't quite have all of the funds. So, but no, it's still in the process. Ryan, there's going to be times when you're going to need a megger. I have a video on my channel where every time the condenser would kick on, it would throw the breaker. Nathan, hold on. I'll get back to you, Ryan. Hold on. Nathan, capacitors, man, as long as you stay away from the Chinese brands, you're fine. Yeah, like Ted said, China capacitors tend to last a year, maybe 2 if you're lucky. Stay away from the Chinese ones and you'll be fine. As long as they're not made in China, you're fine. We use the Mars. What's up, Curtis? Curtis, I got your email, Curtis. You want to come in? Anyway, getting back to Ryan. I have a video on my channel of a Reamer system. Every time you put it on cool, the breaker would trip. I checked a compressor with my meter, like you're saying. I was not getting a continuity to ground with my meter, but it would trip the breaker every time. It wasn't the crankcase heater. Actually, I don't even know if this unit had a crankcase heater. I don't remember, but I made sure. And when I unplugged the compressor and went inside, turned it back on, reset the breaker, the condenser fan motor started running. That tells me that we had a short to ground, but your basic multimeter just wouldn't pick it up. And that's where a megger comes in. John, y'all are taking on a Goodman with a Daikin sticker. That's all y'all are doing. I hate to tell you, but that's the truth. Hey, Curtis, you want to join in here, man? Ryan, I have a Fluke meter. I have a Fluke 902 and a field piece. I'm telling you, dude, there's sometimes where it's not going to pick up continuity to ground. Yeah, the Amp Probe Mega Meter is great. I love it. I mean, guys, you got to remember, Amp Probe is nothing but Fluke. It's a Fluke product. How you doing, Steven? I appreciate that. Okay, there's 82 people in here, and nobody has offered to come in or anything. I'm not going to stay on here and talk and just talk. I mean, if you want to join, well, go ahead, Curtis. I'll just go ahead and send you an email. No compete. I've always wanted to try. Nathan, if you want to come in, send me an email to hvacafterdark@gmail.com, and I'll send you a link. No, I don't do 422B. I agree with Ted. Ted was smart enough to stock up on R22. I wasn't. But the only one that I use is RS44B. That's it. I don't flip-flop. So I don't like 422B. I don't like 422D. There's a bunch of them out there, and I don't experiment with all those. The email is hvacafterdark@gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat. No problem, Martin. That's what this is for. What's the point of superheat once you find it? Then what? Um, I'm not. I don't. I don't understand what you're saying. Never used 421A, Shane. Oh yeah, that's the one Ted just got done using on that video that he borrowed from a friend. All right, I got a couple emails here. Some guys wanting to join in, so I'm going to send those out. Is Ozzy comparing Ameristar to Train? Because there are a lot of guys on YouTube that love Ameristar, and I just I don't see what the big deal is. I just don't see what the big deal is with the Ameristar. Okay, to the two guys that emailed me, I have sent y'all emails to join in here. No, oh, there's my buddy Matt T. Ameristar, it's owned by Ingersoll Rand. Now, Ted's the train expert here, but it's not a train unit. It's not train. It's owned by Ingersoll Rand, but it's not a train. It's not an American Standard. Train and American Standard are the same thing, but Ameristar is not a train. It's owned by Ingersoll Rand, but it's not a train. It's a Chinese unit. Yeah, that's true. The gas furnaces, I think they're the same. They're just not they're not powder coated. Backwoods, I do not. I don't know anything about Samsung. Okay, Nathan, you can turn your camera off and just talk. You don't have to be on camera like me. Watch. You can do this right here. See how I did that right there? When you get in, you just find the little camera and you make sure it's off, and it'll look like this. And you can just talk. You don't have to show your face. All right. Hey, Nathan, I guess you figured out, you saw what I guess you saw what I explained to you, right?
How you doing? Of course. Well, I'm on the East Coast.
You need to mute YouTube.
Hold on, I see that.
Oh shit! Hold on. I'll send it right now, Curtis. I forgot, dude.
I got it.
Okay.
Do you hear me well?
Sir. Curtis, I just sent you an email. Bradley, I think I'm almost at 20. We're almost at 2,300, I believe. JTR, did you send me an email? Where are you located at, Nathan?
I'm on the East Coast. I customize custom new construction.
Oh, okay.
And I'm Carrier Infinity Guru. I love their stuff. I do a lot of their zoning, a lot of Fujitsu's.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Carrier myself.
Well, most people here aren't. The price is outrageous, but I cater the real high end, so it's not such a big deal.
Yeah.
I just put in their latest 24 VNA 20 SEER condenser. It's modulating from 40% to 100.
Right.
Outdoor regular split system. For the long line set, over 20 feet of vertical height, they were calling for a solenoid valve. That was a first for me.
Oh, wow.
So I had to put one outdoors. I never figured out how to get it open while I was vacuuming. Running the vacuum was a new install. So I had to jump it out from the transformer outdoors, but I was wondering if you ever came across anything like that.
No.
All right, so what do you want to talk about? I love talking HVAC. Pick a topic.
It doesn't matter, man. Anything.
All right, how do you find Hillmore Tools? I bought tons of their stuff. I'm not in love with a lot of their stuff. Their expander tool, I don't find it works very nice.
Wait, you don't like the expander?
Not there. It works. It seems to really ruin the tube if you're not very, very careful. It doesn't make a nice circle inside. I think Yellow Jacket's a little better. I haven't compared apples to apples yet.
Now, which Yellow Jacket are you talking about? The hydraulic or
the hydraulic? Yes.
Okay.
No, the hydraulic one.
Okay.
I'm new on the block. I don't have the old stuff. I got anything new you want.
Right. Well, that's a good topic. A lot of people on YouTube don't like Hillmore.
It used to be called Lennox.
Well, Linux has been around for a long time, but then they brought in the what's up, Curtis?
What's up, man?
I don't want to have the Hillmore came into the market a few years ago. Now, I do agree that Hillmore makes some products that are not very good. But I also agree that they make some great products. Like their bender, in my opinion, best one on the market.
If I can interrupt you a second.
Yeah.
No Compete Refrigeration said there's a magnet. I know there's a magnet. I watched someone on YouTube talk about it once. Where do I get that, and what is it called? Maybe he could respond. No Compete Refrigeration Services.
Yeah, he'll respond to you. He's a good guy. So, in my opinion, Hillmore makes the best bender. I also believe they make the best hydraulic swager. Now, I don't currently use a hydraulic swager anymore. I've moved on. I bought the Rector Seal, the one you put on the drill. And they actually do a better job than a hydraulic. Now the copper pipe gets hot, but it makes a beautiful swage, a beautiful, beautiful swage. The only bad thing about hydraulic swagers is, and like the Hillmore, which I believe hydraulic is the best, and that's my opinion. On 3/8, it cracks the pipe, no matter how careful you are. I mean, I have, went halfway, turned it, another, but it always cracks the 3/8. This drill, the ProFit, the drill, it does not crack the pipe at all. It does a great job.
All right.
Now, one thing Hillmore doesn't make well is their nut drivers. Any nut driver is horrible, whether it's a hand nut driver, a chuck for a drill. Horrible, horrible, horrible product from Hillmore. But their hand tools are really good. Like I have a couple of their crescent wrenches, and I know a crescent wrench, is not a big deal, but I like their crescent wrenches. They're solid, and they feel real good in your hand. I've got some of their strippers that are fine. Let's see. The multi-tool, their multi-tool, the multi-screwdriver. Now that's a good product from Hillmore.
What about the torque wrench? What about their torque ratchet?
Man, the torque wrench, I still have it, but I never got to use it.
Come on over to the shore. We'll keep you busy.
I mean, I just don't do enough mini splits, so I never got to use it.
I want to challenge you about your Mega Omer. I watched your video a while ago on the Mega Omer. I almost bought one. I think I even asked you where to get it from.
Which
you on a compressor, and you isolated it, and you verified the compressor was popping the fuse. So why do you need to go with that Mega Omer? Well, you did a great job. We isolated it. We know it's the compressor. I mean, it'd be cool if you got the ground, the continuity to ground, but that's the cause. Change out the compressor.
Which video are you talking about?
Oh man, I think it was a while ago. Wasn't that you that showed her a new Mega Omer? Did you get like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I almost bought it then, but like, what do I need it for? I had the same thing like a few days later. I had exactly what you were saying. I had a compressor, and until I isolated the compressor, kept them popping the fuse the second I turned it on. You got 1 second. So I knew it was the compressor. I changed the compressor and stuff. I mean, it was actually a TXV was lost its refrigerant in the bulb. So I had to change the TXV afterwards, but the compressor was gone.
Man, honestly, I don't really have a good answer for you to tell you why you need it. There a lot of guys use them on maintenance to see, what a compressor's doing. I don't really use them for that, but I just, in my opinion, they have their place, and I like to know for sure. Even though it's popping the breaker, I still want to know. And there's times where a unit can be popping a breaker, but your meter won't pick up continuity to ground. But if you put a mega on it and you look at the mega ohms, it'll tell you.
I hear you.
You know,
I'm just questioning. That's how we learn. We ask questions.
Right.
So I'm here to learn, and I enjoyed that mega ohm video very much. Maybe next time I have a few bucks, I'll buy it. But there's some other stuff I want to get first.
Oh yeah, I can understand that.
He just answered no compete. Let me look that up.
Curtis, how's business?
Busy.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
We're very short-handed. I need at least one more installer crew and 2 more service technicians.
So you're still short-handed?
Very. We hired about 4 people so far, but we need at least 3 more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been getting hot here. We've been hitting the mid to high 90s almost every day.
Yeah, it's been that same here. So it's those 80-hour weeks are starting again.
Oh yeah.
How's it going?
All right, how are you?
Good. I'm new to this whole hangout thing.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome.
Cool.
Gary, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Gary Black, yes, I am very much. Ryan, I can't speak for everybody else, buddy, but I just I didn't have very much hair. I just had some on the side and really none on the top, so I said to hell with it, and I went bald.
Bald, the new sexy.
That's right. see how my head shines in the light? You know, but Nathan, I'm glad you brought up the damn the Hillmore thing, because a lot of people, you know, and I listened to well, you know, man, I haven't listened to the pod ever since I quit podcasting. I haven't been listening to them lately, and but I know I listened to one. Are y'all familiar with all the podcasts that are out there?
Yeah.
I listened to I listened to one episode with, you know, the Tool Pros. Y'all heard of the Tool Pros with Brent Ridley?
No, where's that?
I hadn't heard of them.
Okay, well, there's one called the Tool Pros podcast with a guy named Brent Ridley. I know Brent very well. He's a HVAC guy, but they talk about tools, and he was really running Hillmore in the ground. This one particular podcast he recorded. Gary Black, I got your email. I'm sending you a link right now.
So has anyone ever had to deal with fiberglass, duct flex, or any kind of fiberglass? How'd you guys deal with it getting on your hands and getting in your eyes and stuff?
There ain't nothing you can do about it, buddy.
Take a shot of booze before and after.
Just suck it up, huh?
You got to suck it up, man. There's nothing you can do about it.
95 degrees outside on a white rooftop.
Yep. I know it sucks, and we're not being assholes. We're just telling you the truth.
Yeah. All right, well, he brought up insulation. Let me beat that up a little bit. Bubble wrap's the biggest scam in the world, in my opinion.
Oh, the Reflectix?
Oh, where I live, that's all they sell. They almost don't sell no more of that scratchy stuff. You idiot. I'm not putting in the scratchy stuff is what I hear all day. Well, too bad. I mean, luckily, I'm in new construction, so we're all encapsulated roof, so everything's conditioned space, so I don't need to use it most of the time. But Reflectix, that's the biggest baloney. I don't know how they even sell it in the store. It's good for a vapor barrier. That's it.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll be honest with you. I've, you know, handmade, you know, some transitions in the field on the job, you know, like a 4-piece, very, very small, just to close up a gap. And I've used Reflectix for that. Now, I won't go line a plenum or wrap a plenum in Reflectix, but I have used it, for a 12-inch transition to fill a gap, and it's been, so far I haven't had no issues.
Because it prevents condensation if you do it well. That's what it's good for.
Right, and I wrapped it on the outside, and like I said, knock on wood, it's been fine. Frank Campbell, I was done, man, with the story. I was just pointing out that Brent Ridley he was really hammering on Hillmore in that one episode, like they were just a complete junk, which, like I said, I'm not sitting here taking up for Hillmore, but I do like some of their products. I don't think all their stuff's junk, but they do have some stuff that they need to improve on.
I met a local sales rep for Hillmore, and I think he said it's also really a DeWalt.
Yes, it's all owned by Stanley Black & Decker.
Stanley, which is DeWalt and Hillmore and Lennox.
Yeah, Hillmore, Lennox, Black & Decker, Stanley, all that shit. But like Hillmore's digital manifolds, those were a nightmare. I mean, they were a nightmare. So I don't even think they make them anymore, to be honest with you. And, they need to improve their nut drivers. They need to improve there's some other things I just can't think. Another great tool that they make, which I don't use it anymore either, because I've also bought the Rector Seal Pro Fit swage. Yes, I have the swage, but the flaring tool that you put on the drill. But Hillmore does make a good flaring tool, the orbital flare. It's great. I have it. I used it several times, and
on the smaller sizes, you found it good. I have a hard time on the smaller size. I'm back to the yellow jacket, blue handle guy.
I hated that flaring tool. My dad loves that damn Yellow Jacket flaring tool, and look, Yellow Jacket still sponsors my channel, and I love Yellow.
The one-handed one.
Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about. My dad loves that damn thing, and I hate it. And I got nothing but love for Yellow Jacket. They still sponsor the channel. I love their products, but that's one product from Yellow Jacket I never liked. I tried. My dad loves that damn thing. I hate it. But I mean, I'm sure it's a good one. I just don't like it.
I just found you add a little PLE oil and it makes a huge difference on how good it works.
I tell you what, man, if you guys should really check out the Rector Seal Pro Fit stuff, the Pro Fit swage and the Pro Fit flare that you hook on your drill. It's fantastic. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Gary. I wish you could join in, man. You don't have that. You got a computer anywhere? What about Curtis? What do you use for swaging and flaring?
Well, my installers, they use, I think they use Yellow Jacket and Hillmore. One of my installers got Hillmore. I see him using that a lot. So
right, yeah. But as a even though you do nothing but service, there's got to be times where you still have to break out the torch and probably do some swaging every now and then.
I just got a box full of copper fittings and all that. So I cheat. I put it on there real quick and go.
Yeah, I hear you.
But
Jeff says he has
I fire my torch up not that many times a month. Maybe about 5 times a month I fire my torch up.
I hear you. Jeff says he's got the rotary flare and swage. What
he's talking about the drill bit, probably.
I don't know. I'm not sure which one he's talking about.
Is there really a difference? I mean, on those drill bit flare stuff attachments, like one company came out and now 5 companies. I thought it's the same thing, 5 different labels. You think there's a difference in the product? I got the first one. I got to check which brand it is. I think it comes in a little square box.
I have my flare right here. My swage one's in the truck.
I just saw that. That's a newer one. Just came out.
Yeah, this is the one I have. This is the flare kit, and I have the swage one, which is identical, but it's out. It's out in the truck, and it comes, you know.
Let me go grab mine. I have it right here.
And you know, it comes with these, and you just hook them on the drill.
I've been thinking of getting some of those.
What's that?
I said,
I've been thinking of getting some of those and trying it out.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, you won't regret it. I really like it. The only thing is wear gloves, man, because that damn copper gets hot.
I got the one that's called Spin. I thought they were
Oh, yeah, Spin. It comes in a little square container.
Blue container, yes.
I mean, I've never owned that brand, but I know several people that have. I'm sure it's just as good as the ones that I got.
I guess you would use that if you didn't have a fitting.
What's that?
I said you wouldn't want to use a fitting instead, or like, what's the benefit?
One less solder joint.
Okay. I mean, I'm fairly new to the trade, so
right.
Sorry.
No. You don't apologize. It's just that, yeah, you know, instead of a coupling, you make a swage, you got one solder joint instead of two.
Gotcha.
Same thing with the bender kit. You know, instead of having to use a 90, you bend it. You bend the 90 with your bender. You go from 2 solder joints to 0. Well, I mean,
and you don't need to walk around with so many fittings.
Right. Well, I mean, not 0 solder joints. Obviously, you're going to have to solder into the condensing unit to the evaporator. What I mean is you eliminate 2 solder joints. Instead of having to solder a 90, you just bend a 90. Bend the tubing with your bender.
Well, I got something interesting to tell you on that. On Linux, on our high fishing equipment, they recommend fittings. They don't recommend bends.
You got to be kidding me.
That's what my tech guy told me, and he knows you.
Oh, really? Who? What's his name? Wayne Lindsay?
I told him. He asked for your number the other day. Let me pull his number.
Is it Wayne Lindsay?
Yeah, Wayne Lindsay. Yeah,
I know Wayne. Yep.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Wayne is a damn good guy. Damn good guy. I like the shit out of Wayne. I don't have his number anymore, but feel free to give it to him. I'd love to talk to Wayne.
I'll send it to you now.
Keep me posted. I'd love to know that too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Wayne about that, even though I don't do Linux, but I gotta agree with Joe in the chat. I believe that. I mean, that's bullshit. I mean, you take a 90, even if you use long radius fittings, which everybody out there watching, if you do use fittings, please, pardon my French, please fucking use long radius fittings. Don't use a damn short radius 90. Fucking, you know, use a long radius. But I would much rather have a nice looped 90 than a short bend 90. I don't know. I'd have to call bullshit on that one. My dad called me the other day. This is another thing. Joe, you know, man, I like Joe Shear. Joe's like a mad scientist. He's very sharp, great technician. I have a lot of respect for Joe. I just got it, Curtis. We have an ICP inverter system that we put in, and we've been having some issues with the drain. Now, come to find out, now we put a 5-inch Honeywell media filter on the system. It's a gas furnace with a horizontal coil, not a slab coil. It's a box coil. And we've been having some, Daddy was having drain issues. He called me the other day and we talked it over. Come to find out, she was putting a pleated filter down in the house plus the media. And after my dad removed the house filter, he checked on it a couple days later and the issue was solved. I guess there was too much static. But he called the factory, before he realized she had a filter in the house, to ask them, if there was any issues with this system or whatever, because we're new to inverters. And they told him that to take the damn media filter out. They don't like media filters on their inverter systems. What do y'all think about that?
What? Talking about a regular split inverter or like not ductless, right?
No. It's a forced air. It's a gas furnace with a horizontal coil. They told him to get rid of the media filter.
Well, that's
get rid of the high efficient filter.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a big problem. Residential units all the time. You want to talk about airflow? I'm your guy. media filters are, but if you go with static pressure, manual D from ACA, I mean, media filters could be pretty bad if you don't size it very well. I use 20 by 25 anytime I'm over 3 tons. If I'm doing a media filter, the highest I'll do 2 16 by 25s up to 3 tons. I do 2 returns on both sides. I do new construction. I average a ton for 1,000 square feet.
Right.
And my guys demand 70 degrees indoor temperature, not 75. So I oversize my filters big time because they're huge, static. They block the airflow big time. And the new blowers, I mean, the new ECM motors get you almost up to like 0.8, 0.9 static pressure. That's not what you want to operate. It's going to be noisy and gas guzzlers. You lose all your efficiencies.
Right. Well, that's what this is. This is a 20 by 25 filter. We got
By what?
It's a 5-inch filter, 20 by 25.
Some of them are pretty nasty.
Yeah, and I mean, we got plenty of return in the house. I mean, the house has got multiple returns. There's plenty of return.
Did you do a static pressure across the coil? The blower?
Well, no, I mean, I'm not there anymore. I don't live there no more. I mean, my dad's taking care of all that now. So, I mean, he will do one, but he's got to go back to it Monday. Or not Monday, Tuesday after the holiday. But I don't know. I just, everybody else recommends medias, Train and, Ted, here, he puts them on his inverters. I've seen the Linux guys put them on their inverters. I just don't understand why ICP says that. Okay, go tell mama.
What was the issue you were having again with the ICP guy? The inverter?
It was a drain issue. The water was backing up into the furnace.
Was a furnace?
Yeah, it's a gas furnace.
And
then and the
coil was on top or on bottom?
No. This is not upflow. You got to remember.
It's just a gas furnace.
No. This is the south. It's in an attic, laying horizontal. But again, like I said, after Dad found her filters in the house, her pleated filters down in the house, he pulled them out, and the drain issue stopped.
Because if you have too much static pressure, it pulls the water right back in on the.
Right.
Look at the charts, the install manual. It shows you a lot of those. It's more by fan coils normally. You can't go over 0.4 inches on the return side, or else it'll suck the condensate right back in.
Right. Well, like I said, she got a Honeywell media filter on the back of the furnace in the attic, and then she had pleats in the house.
So she doubled up on that.
Right. And my dad was walking through the house, and he was like, "Wait a minute, let me look at these filter grills." And he looked up in the filter grills, and she had pleats there too. And he said, "Shit," he said, "That's what it is." He pulled the filters out down in the house, and the issue went away. So
yeah, that makes sense. You can't double up media filters, and you really got to size them right because they're a killer for airflow.
Yeah. I like them though. I really like the 5-inch filter.
Did you buy in? I'm going to change subjects quickly. I'm going to jump around some new products if you don't mind, Israel, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you try out that hot block?
That's what?
Been all over the media, social media.
What is it again?
Hot block. It's like it's a heat absorbing material instead of a wet rag.
No, I'm pretty loyal to Refrigeration Technologies because I'm friends with John Pastorello, the owner. If you look over here, I got a shit ton of Refrigeration Technology stuff right there.
Big Blue and Nylog.
Yeah, Big Blue, Nylog. I got a bunch
they just came out with a reusable putty wet rag. Are you familiar with that?
Well, I have wet rag right here. Yeah.
Which one? Let me show it to me.
All right, hold on one second. What's up, Trent Parker? Roll Tide, man. I hadn't seen you in a while, dude. All right, Nathan, that's the one I have.
Yeah, I don't like solder weld hot block texture. I'm going to try that out. It feels much better. I didn't use it yet in the field, it's so much cheaper. It's a quarter the price.
This is good stuff, man. This is damn
Did you
good
ever
stuff.
use it in the field?
Oh shit, yeah, I use it all the time. I wrap my service valves in it and everything when I'm soldering in a condenser. I changed out an evaporator in a package unit the other day, and had to cut it off the bottom of the TXV. And when I welded the new evaporator back in, I wrapped up the TXV in this stuff.
And it's reusable, easy?
It's reusable up to a certain amount of times. You can tell, when it's no good anymore. But oh yeah, dude, it works great.
Cool, because again, this hot block is so crazy expensive. Trying to look it up. I think their list price is, and I find just crumbs all over the place. And you make it too wet, it starts falling apart. I tried it a few times. I mean, they have cool videos and stuff, but too much time to make it work. And I just bought that one. I just saw it for the first time, the one that you have. I'm going to try it out this week.
Be honest with you, I don't know how much this stuff cost, because John Pastorello sent me so much of it. I've kept a thing of it on my truck. Oh, and it actually says right here, Nathan, it says reusable up to 40 times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How long has that been? Isn't that pretty new?
Man, I think it's been out a while, but I think they recently made some improvements to it. I could be wrong about that. Maybe somebody in the chat can correct me. But I think it's been out a while. But I think they recently made some changes.
So what actually is it? Is it like a putty or?
This is putty. That's correct. This is putty.
Well, I wouldn't say putty. Putty is more like a Play-Doh. This is much more like feels like a crushed up, a chopped up wet rag, no?
It does, but I mean, it says putty on it, but I agree. No,
that's because of the hot block. I'm just so upset with a hot block. It's so expensive, and it's like a sticky, greasy putty.
That's what it looks
everywhere.
That's what it looks like. If y'all can see
that picture, you can't see good what it looks like. I got one here too.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me answer. Ozzy asked me. No, Ozzy, I don't use Stay Bright 8. I braze.
I want to continue on that. A lot of guys I meet, I always fight with people about the Stay Bright stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not my thing. Joe Shear says he sticks to the actual wet rags. Hey, I'll be honest with you, man. There's sometimes, I keep rags in my bag. So there's times where I won't go get this. Sometimes it's hard to beat a good old wet rag, but a real wet rag. But this stuff does work. It works very well.
The other day, I had to change a TXV on an aluminum coil. And I had to do that equalizer line.
Right. Hey, hold that thought 1 second. I want to comment on something in the chat. Ryan, I know you're very strong, opinionated, and that's great. But thermopaste, thermopaste doesn't have anything on this. And I think most people in the chat would agree. Thermopaste sucks compared to this. I can't believe you even like thermopaste. I tried it years ago and hated it and just went back to a rag. Thermopaste is shit. What's up, HVAC Man 77? How you doing? But I'm sorry, Nathan. Go ahead, dude.
I just had to solder. It was the first time actually I did it. I had to change the TXV with an equalizer to like an inch away from that aluminum coil.
Mm-hmm.
So I was petrified what to do, but I wasn't comfortable with just a wet rag.
Right.
I don't know. I ended up doing it fine, but I actually used a jeweler's torch, oxyacetylene, so it's only like a 1-inch flame.
What do you normally use? A turbo torch?
No, oxyacetylene. I'm an oxyacetylene nut job.
I am too. I like oxygen acetylene. Unfortunately, the guy I'm working for right now likes the turbo torch, so we use B tanks with turbo torch. Curtis, what do y'all use?
Acetylene and oxygen.
Yeah, I like oxygen acetylene too. I really do. RM, how long have you been in it, dude? You have a job or what?
Well, I got my EPA certification, and I mean, I've had like 2 or 3 jobs that just haven't been working out too well.
Right.
So, I mean, with people just not treating me right, and, it just hasn't been working out. So, I mean, I've worked at a couple different dynamics. One I worked in actually New York City was one of them. I hated that. Another place was a little up from there. So, I mean, I have a little bit. I've done a couple different companies in a few different scenarios. I've done quite a bit of ductless equipment, installed that.
Right.
So.
And where are you located at?
I'm in New York. I'm about an hour up from the city.
Oh, okay.
City.
Okay. What's up, Jason? How you doing?
What was that?
What city of New York are you in?
I'm in Yorktown Heights.
All right. I'm in New Jersey, so not so far away. I travel up once in a blue moon.
Not too bad.
John, looks like we got some Yanks with us.
Yeah, I see that.
So do you want to go into different solders out there? Because I love beating everyone up on these things.
Brazing rod, solder, whatever whatever you want to call. I call it solder. I mean, I
know, but I got a Harris app on my phone.
In my opinion, I'm a Harris guy. I think Harris makes the best ones. I used to use 15%, but Harris makes a product that I really like called Dynaflow.
Dynaflow is exactly the same characteristics as 15.
Yes, I love Dynaflow. Love it. So Dynaflow is my solder of choice.
Well, they got something called Harris O that a lot of guys use, and they still 5. But if you go onto the app and you play around a little bit, they show you there's 3 main things you're looking for on brazing rod, I believe.
Right.
And it's the melting point. They call it liquidus, the solidus temperature, and it's very cool because I use something called blockade. If I ever find a little hole, I'm pretty new to brazing, to be honest with you. So it could be I'm making a stupid mistake, but if I do a bad braze and I need to fill a hole, I have this called blockade. It melts at like 200-300 degrees lower than Dynaflow. So you won't melt that solder if you're careful, and it has a real high fluidity, so it'll fill in any hole, teeny hole, really quick and easy.
Right.
But I'm walking around with a bunch of rods of different types. I don't know if everybody wants to do that.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Jason, what's up, dude? I don't know if I gave you a shout out or not, but I wanted to make sure I saw your comment. I appreciate you. But let's see, Joe Shear comment. I always appreciate when Joe comments because, guys, if you look in the chat, you see Joe Shear. Go to his channel and subscribe. Joe's got some good videos. He's a very good technician. Does beautiful work. I wish I was as patient as Joe. When Joe does a job, like a change out or something, man, he takes his time. He's patient. Not saying that I don't. I just don't like Joe does. I mean, he's a good guy, and he's a really, really smart technician. But he said he used Dynaflow. That's very true, Joe. That's what led me to Dynaflow was 15% solder was almost $100 for a pound. For a pound of solder. Dynaflow was only like 60, so that's why I went to the Dynaflow. But you are right. 15% solder has went down. But I'm still stuck on the Dynaflow. I don't know. No, I don't think 37 is too old to join the trade. I mean,
not this temperature.
No problem, Joe. I mean, it's the truth, man. But
we just hired a 45-year-old.
Hey, look, man. If it's what you want to do, it really doesn't matter. 37's not old. I mean, God, I hope not, because I'm almost 30. I'm fixing to turn 30, and it scares the shit out of me.
Come on, John, it ain't that bad.
Yeah. Joe calls it OCD. I hear you, Joe. But no, I mean, I meant every word, dude. Y'all need to check out Joe. His work is like, I love the way he does his copper piping. Love the way he does his copper piping. But I'm scared as shit to turn 30, man. I remembered like it was yesterday, man, being 16, 17, 18. and now I'm fixing to turn 30 in a couple months. So, and I've been doing this shit since I'm 13 years old. I started working in my daddy's scrap pile at 13, cutting up units. And then at 14, I set my first condensing unit. I brazed it in and everything by myself at 14 years old.
So do you
Get her done.
What's
eye
that?
protection when you braze with oxyacetylene?
What's that?
Do you use eye protection when you use oxyacetylene?
Fuck no, dude. This is Louisiana.
I don't use it either.
we don't
We got
practice
OSHA
that shit, man.
inspections on my new construction jobs.
Dude, there's no OSHA here. This is Louisiana. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, "Oh yeah, man, wear the eye protection." You know, the goggle. No, don't even wear sunglasses, man. Just fire her up and let her rip.
Hell, sometimes I don't even use my sunglasses.
I don't. Yeah, sometimes I don't even use that either, man. I just fire that fucking torch up and let her go. Now, when I'm welding, now I'm not gonna sit here and call myself a welder, but I can weld. It may not be the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll hold. So when I'm dicking off, well, used to now my dad used to be a welder, but you know, Daddy builds his own trailers and everything. Those trailers we used to haul around, not the boxed in trailer on my videos, but I got a couple videos where you'll see I'm pulling a little blue trailer. You know, me and Dad built that trailer because my dad's a pipe fitter and welder before he got into HVAC. Now, of course, you have to wear protection with that or you're going to be fucked, you know, so.
Yeah, stick taters in your eyes.
Yeah. So that's a different ball game. But, you know, even new construction here, residential, you ain't got to worry about none of that shit. Commercial, you might have to keep an eye out every now and then, but I bet up there in New York and New Jersey, y'all probably got somebody up y'all's ass all the time.
Down here in the South, they don't give a shit about us.
Hell no.
How far south are you?
Dude, let me put it to you like this. When we do change outs, when I was, you know, when me and Dad were still together before I moved over here down south, we'd call the inspectors and they knew Dad. I mean, my dad's been doing this for almost 40 years and they'd be like, "Oh, that's good, man. Just give me the address. I'll go by and put a sticker on it later. I ain't even worried about it." I mean, that was our inspection department.
So do you require Dad to do the manual J stuff where you are?
What's that?
Do you do manual J's for change outs ever?
Yeah, like for load calculation?
Yes.
Yeah. I had not on this computer, on another one, I had a software that I would use it on. I can't remember what the damn software was called. I'd have to fire up that old computer and look. Now my dad, he does his by hand. He still does it on paper by hand. And he's good because he can come out with, I mean, not identical, but damn close to that computer, you know? So he just does his by hand.
I've seen in some of your videos that you use Zoom Lock. Is that your preferred?
Well, the Zoom Lock, I can't use it anymore because I don't work for myself anymore. You know, there's probably a lot of people watching tonight that are confused about that, but I did make a YouTube video on it. But yeah, I moved down south to South Louisiana because my wife and I have two kids, a daughter and a son, and our son is autistic. And there was no opportunity for him in Alexandria. Like there's nothing for autistic kids where I used to live. So we moved to a bigger city down in South Louisiana so that he could get the proper therapy and all that he needs.
Gotcha.
So now that I work for somebody, I don't use the Zoom Lock anymore. I can't, you know, he doesn't want to have nothing to do with it.
I don't know if I trust it.
Well, hold on. What'd you say, Curtis?
How's Candace doing? She doing pretty good?
She's good, man. I'm glad you asked. Yeah, update on Candace for everybody. That a lot of the guys know my wife Candace because she used to be really involved on here. Candace is almost back to normal. She is out of the boot. she's walking without a boot, slow and with a slight limp, but she's doing good. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, back in November, on November the 3rd, my wife was in a really, really, really bad car accident. And she's very, very lucky that she walked away with just a broken leg and ankle. And for the past, since November, it's been pretty hectic, she's been in a wheelchair and everything. So to see her walking around without a boot, it's pretty cool, but it's been a long road, but yeah, she's doing good. Thanks for asking, Curtis.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
Appreciate it. What did RM, did you try to ask something a minute ago?
Well, yeah, it was just, I don't know how I like the idea of using a crimp connection, like if that O-ring, like, will that O-ring ever wear out? And if it does, it seems like it would leak the refrigerant out.
That's everybody's argument, but think about it. O-rings are used in HVAC systems everywhere else. They're used in the service valves, king valves, whatever you want to call them. They're used in TXVs. They're used on a piston assembly, the white Teflon O-ring. I have several units out there that are Zoom locked that, I don't know how old they are now, maybe a year or a little less than a year probably, and they're still fine.
Yeah, Zoom lock, I've been waiting a long time. I haven't heard one bad story with Zoom lock. I know a lot of guys using it. It's just, the fittings that you got to walk around with and the cost and the time. These are
right.
Really
I'm going to answer a couple questions in the chat, and then I'm going to talk about that. Gary Black, yes, she is still doing physical therapy. She goes to physical therapy 3 times a week. So, yes, she does.
We got a 16-year-old in here.
Oh, do we really? Oh, I see that now. Yeah. Anyway, the Zoom lock. I love the tool. Love it. If I ever go back out on my own, I'll use it again. But there are some downsides to the Zoom lock. And that is the main one is the price of the tool itself and the price of the fittings. The fittings are expensive.
Down by me, they finally got a competition.
What's that?
There's another brand that came out from Europe selling the same concept.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, it just came out. Hold on, I'm looking for it here. United Supply had a whole show the other day.
But you want to talk about something cool to use? It's pretty damn cool, man. I mean, the first time I put a system together with it, it was cool. It was something different, no torch. It was, I was impressed. I was really, really impressed. So, I endorse the tool. If you don't have the money to purchase it, hey, I completely understand that. Believe me, I do. The fittings are expensive, but I like the tool. I do. And I have heard no horror stories. There's people that have been using.
Heard one. Did you ever hear any? I don't know one horror story.
I have not heard one horror story. There's guys out there that have been using the Zoom lock a hell of a lot longer than I used it, and I didn't use it much. But like Brent Ridley, the guy I was telling y'all about earlier that does the Tool Pros, he's used it for well over a year now, and I have heard nothing. I mean, we got a couple of things in the chat, but the Zoom lock, I think it's around $3,000 for the tool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were giving it out free if you ever catch the trailer on the East Coast. If you buy
no, yeah,
fittings.
Yeah, not free. You got to buy a shit ton of fittings. Yeah,
you got to buy like $5,000 of fittings, and they give it to you free.
Right. Yeah, Brian, there is a specification on the pressures and the temps, but I don't know what they are. I don't remember.
Well, there's a new company that came out called Conex Maxi Pro. There's some out of Europe. I'm wondering if anyone has any experience on that. I didn't get so new, but I'm excited for competition. Maybe the price will come down on the fittings finally.
I don't know if I'd try that brand, but yeah, Frank Campbell. Yeah, I was, man. I was nervous. When I put that nitrogen test on there, I was afraid I was going to see bubbles everywhere. And, yeah, you're right. I was nervous. Well, AC Kid, that's cool, man. You don't want to use a Zoom lock, man. It's all good, dude. It's all good. Oh no, Patrick, good God, dude. You can't touch the Zoom lock for $500, man. No, it's
you get one fitting.
Yeah, you might get a handful of fittings for $500, but you're not but you're not going to get a tool for $500. No, it's not. Now look, I do believe that eventually, the price will come down. I'm good. I know a guy at Sporlan. I don't know a bunch of guys at Sporlan, but I know this one guy that I talked to, and he's a good guy. He's a straight shooter, but I believe that eventually it will come down on price. I hope so anyway. Yeah, they've been using plumbing, the ProPress. A lot of plumbers use ProPress. But there's a big difference between water and refrigerant. So, yeah, Josh, the Zoom lock is like a HVAC ProPress, but you can't go using ProPress shit on air conditioning. So, Well, Patrick, brother, I got news for you, man. I think that the price on the Zoom lock will come down, but I don't think it's going to come down to $500. I could see it coming down to maybe $2,000, maybe $1,500 one day, and that's being generous. But not $500. That's not going to happen. I mean, 1/7/8 elbow or 90 is $25.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
So I guess it's just supposed to be cut down on time, I guess. Is that what they say? Because you're able to do it quicker.
It does. And it's fast. I'm telling you, it's fast. Now, the prep work is all the same.
Blogs on Zoom lock. I'm sorry for cutting you off again.
No, it's okay.
I find a lot of blogs and articles on scenes for the small jobs. It's the way to go. For the big jobs, you're going to need a lot of fittings. A guy that knows how to braze can knock it out much faster, much cheaper.
Well, that's backwards from what I'm hearing. Like the industrial and commercial guys are loving the Zoom lock because when they're running all that copper, instead of having to braze all that, they're just Zoom locking.
But it's about if you're all set up. I mean, how long does it take to really brace? To me, it's just getting the setup, connecting it.
No, I agree. But here's this. Now, let me tell you Zoom lock's answer to that question. The Zoom lock says no fire and, no nitrogen. You don't have to flow nitrogen. Oh, and there's something else. I can't remember. But you still do have to prep your copper. You have to deburr it. You have to sand it. All that still has to take place before you Zoom lock it. So, it does. Here's the thing about the Zoom lock. And I've said this for since I was podcasting the Cowboys of HVAC with Zach. You either like the Zoom lock or you hate it. And that's all. And that's the truth. You either like it or you hate it. You're either for it or you're against it. There's really no in between. And you're either one of those guys that's like, fuck you. I love this thing. I don't give a shit how much it costs. Or you're the other guy that's like, screw that damn tool. I'm not paying that kind of money. I'm not paying that kind of money for the fittings. I can braze just as fast, So it's, like I said, you either like it or you don't. You're either for it or you're against it. And that's how it is. But I like it. I think it's a good tool. Do I think the price is high? Absolutely. I think it's way too expensive. If Sporlan wouldn't have, loaned me one for, the podcasting and all that, I couldn't afford to buy one, So
When I win the lottery, I'll try it out.
There you go. I mean, it's expensive. It's hard to go drop $3,000 on the tool. It's, believe me.
I have more of a problem stocking all the fittings than the price of the tool.
Absolutely.
Because what am I going to get? Elbows, reducers, straight couplings. I mean,
right.
Like what? And then you kind of,
Right. Gary Black, once a month. Yeah, once a month. But, it has its pros, it has its cons, just like everything in this world, like I said, you either like it or you don't. But I will tell you this. For somebody that's against it, if you would try the tool at least once, I'm not saying it would completely change your mind, but you would at least say, okay, that was pretty cool. I'm not saying it would turn you into a Zoom lock lover, but it would at least say, okay, that was pretty damn cool. Because, I mean, it is. I mean, hell, I remember one time years ago, I walked into the Goodman store, and there was a company there promoting this shit in a tube that was red, and you'd put a bead of it around the copper and then stick your fitting on there, and you had 10 seconds to rotate the fitting in whatever direction you want. And that's how they were bonding your copper. No more torch. I don't remember what it was called.
That stuff's a piece of shit.
I agree. I never used it. Shit, I can't remember what it was called, man. But the guys were in there, was a fucking glue. What are we doing? Gluing copper now? And they said, no, it's not glue. It's I don't remember what they called it. And a compound, and supposedly it bonded it. The copper would bond. I never tried that shit. I don't know.
I tried it once.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Did it leak?
Yeah.
So the stuff I'm talking about. It's like red colored.
It's red colored like a gook, and you had sand a pipe really well,
yes.
Sand it fitting really well, and twist it and all that, and
right.
It held pressure and it held the vacuum, everything good. As soon as I released the refrigerant, I lost all the refrigerant in the attic.
Oh shit!
I was pissed.
Yeah. I'm glad I never tried it. I'm glad it happened to you and not me.
Fuck you.
And hey, I'm sorry, Curse. I like you, man. I really do. I like you a lot, but I got to be honest though. I'd be lying if I said I'm glad it happened to you and not me.
I was only a kid. It was first in heat and air ever, and I'd have come in the deep attic and weld that bastard.
Yeah. When I saw that shit, I was like, nah. I remember my dad was with me, and my dad literally looked right at the guy and said, "Fuck that shit." Dad said, I've been dragging torches around for 30 fucking years. I'll keep dragging them. So
it is a good glue, though.
A good glue. Oh man. Oh yeah. Look at No Compete's comment. See, he said that the reason commercial and industrial like to Zoom lock is because there are buildings that you can't use a torch. When I was podcasting, I interviewed Andrew Greaves, who is AK HVAC on YouTube, and he works for Johnson Controls. And they did a job with some VRF equipment, or VRV, whatever the hell you call it. And because I don't do big shit, but the job was specified to Johnson Controls, use Zoom lock. Or I don't know if they said that, but it did specify no flame at all on job site. So they Zoom locked the whole job.
There's no filter dryer on those VRF, the ductless guys. That's why they do the flare. They don't want anyone brazing without the nitrogen going through.
Well, Zoomlock makes dryers.
Yeah, but the VRF doesn't put dryers. There's no dryers on all those VRF ductless guys.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I have no idea. I don't fool with that stuff. Oh, look at that comment. Josh says, this is a good platform. I work in a hospital where a torch can be frowned upon, and that's where the Zoomlock is coming into play, with that kind of shit. And I've been hearing a lot of these guys using Zoomlock. Daikin is VRV and everyone else is VRF. Thank you for clearing that up, Brian. Oh, Trevor says no flame, reduced risk, faster projects. He's been using the Zoomlock for 2 years. So, Trevor, you've been using this tool for 2 years. How are the guys are asking, how are the fittings holding up in 2 years? Yeah, I imagine a torch would be frowned upon in a hospital. So, Nathan, are you mostly commercial or strictly commercial, industrial?
Okay, so I do Sunday I do commercial maintenance. The rest of the week I do high-end new construction. Service calls as they come. I don't advertise anything, but I have some high-end customers, so I take care of them. I don't turn them down.
So you're self-employed?
I have a small company. I got 3 workers under me, but it's me and my crew, kind of.
Okay, so when you say new construction, are you talking residential or commercial?
I'm talking about residential homes up in the 10 to 25,000 square foot range.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Dealing with those people is not so easy always.
I bet, man. I don't do new construction. Never.
18 bathrooms, try installing 18 high-end exhaust fans. I mean, it's like a 2-day, 3-day job.
Right. Real quick, Trevor commented, the guy that's been using the Zoomlock for 2 years. He said he has not had an issue at all, or an issue yet. His only complaint is the cost of the fittings. Charlie, if you want to join, send me an email to hvacafterdark@gmail.com, and I'll send you back a link that you click to join in.
I don't see the chat anymore. Whoever referred me to this solenoid valve magnet, I want to thank you. I'm ordering 2 right now. I think it was Ryan, but I don't remember. I'm new here. And I have one more favor before I go get my next beer. And you have any good videos on brazing with oxyacetylene? I'm still not convinced I have the torch perfect. I never worked for anyone else. I'm self-taught.
Not really, man. I don't really have any detailed videos of I mean, what's your question or issue? Well, first of all,
how much oxy, how much the mix, the pressure. I mean, I try to follow the charts that I came with my tips.
I set my oxygen at 20 psi, and I set my acetylene at 10. I am not afraid to get that son bitch hot. What size tip do you use?
I don't know. I bought the Victor brace kit, I think it is.
Right. Well, that comes with a number 0, which does not put out a lot of heat. I would recommend at least a number 2 or a number 3.
I got the C clamp I love that has like 5 little fires that goes around the pipe.
Oh, okay. Curtis, you can chime in here. What do you set your how much pressure you put on oxygen and acetylene?
About the same, 20 psi.
Okay, so 20 on oxygen and about 10 on acetylene?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I mean, I'm not afraid to get that son bitch hot. I see a lot of guys on YouTube that solder, with oxygen acetylene, and they got this long ass flame with, hardly any heat. I don't know why guys are so afraid to get their torch hot. I mean, when I fire up a fucking torch, I fire that son bitch up. I mean, I'm not there to dick off and hold it on that fucking fitting all day. Son, I'm gonna fire that torch up. We gonna burn hot, and we're gonna solder or braise.
Well, the problem with the long ass flames, you can catch something on fire really easy with it.
And it's not hot. You're gonna sit on that fucking fitting all day. You know, I fire that damn torch. When I do my torch, that's somebody screaming. And if we're gonna braise, we're gonna braise. We're not gonna sit on that fitting all day.
Yeah, I got on one of my guys one day. I climbed in the attic and he was sitting there welded in. And I can literally smell something burning, and he almost caught the attic on fire.
Oh shit!
Oh man, I was mad. I said, "Get the heck off this job site, and I'll finish it."
Oh man,
he wasn't allowed to touch a torch for about a month.
I hear that.
Well, for case I got to get going, but I want to leave you off one crazy story I had this week. I was wiring up. I do Carrier Infinity lets you go up to 8 zones per system, and that's what I do. I almost put a thermostat in every bedroom, every room in these houses with the dampers. I love that stuff. I never had a problem. I know people are scared of it, but I was wiring up a zone panel. It was late in the day, and it was hot. We didn't turn anything on yet, new construction. And I just stripped some sweat onto the board, and I didn't see it. As soon as I fired up that machine, that board went puff in flame.
Oh,
gone. Shit. That's $500 my cost on that stupid board.
Yeah.
So, if in case anyone, just never stand over the boards, man. They're full of these tiny electronic components, and one drop, and it's over.
Yeah. Charlie, I sent you an email. I got it. Now I sent you one.
All right. Thanks, usual. I'm going to go get some more beer and get ready for work tomorrow. I really appreciate it. I follow you all the time. Keep it coming. Have a great night, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you watching.
Be well. All right.
I'm thinking taking a boat out tomorrow.
I hear you, man. Nothing wrong with that. Y'all off Monday?
Yeah, we're off, but unfortunately, I'm on call this weekend. It sucks.
Oh, yeah. I was on call last weekend, so I'm good.
I'm ready to get back off of it. I'm about to hire – when I hire those 2 more service technicians, I'm getting back off rotation. So
yeah. Yep.
Oh, that guy loves that Bosch rotor I put in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
That sucker is quiet, and it is quiet.
Yeah, if Joe Shear's in here, I know I had to go listen to the podcast. I heard him and Ralph had a good debate, even though Ralph's not podcasting anymore, about the Bosch. Joe's not a fan of it. He says it's a fancy single stage. And he made some good points.
It's definitely not single stage because I originally heard the compressor ramp up and ramp down.
Right. I mean, no. I mean, he understands that it ramps, but you need to go listen to the podcast. I mean, he did make some good points. Brace something live right now? I don't think so.
How effective is zoning?
You know, man, you have to talk to Curtis about that. That is a very big weakness of mine. I don't really know. I actually had to call Curtis one day to help me with the zoning system because I ran into one. We don't see them here. Very, very rare do we see them. Now, I do want to get some training on zoning, but from what I hear, the guys that do zoning like it. So, Curtis, you can answer that question.
Well, zoning, it has its good points and its bad points. If you don't know what you're doing and put a bypass damper and it's oversized, you can crash that compressor within like 5 years. But if you size everything correctly, the system works perfectly. That's one thing when I design a duct system, I do not put bypass dampers in because I hate bypass dampers with a passion. And I just find the biggest zone like a living room or something and dump the access air into there. That way I'm not refiltering that conditioned air to the coil.
No compete. Thank you for coming in, man. We'll see you next time. Go ahead, Curtis.
But all the zoning systems I put in, no bypass dampers. I had one complaint out of it because they're just some crazy old dikes.
So do you put a bypass duct?
No, I put the damper. I don't close it, but like I make it where it only closes 70%.
Right.
So
Say it's like a
how effective is it
Do
if
what?
it's only being close by 70%? Can you still get that much different of a temperature?
Yeah. It just basically is say like just for example, the Dyke's bedroom, say their bedroom is on like an 8-inch trunk. I can't force 1,200 CFMs in there. So the amount of CFMs going to go in that room and access is going to go into the main living room. But there's one problem with it that cold air is cooling down the living room really quick. And that's the only problem with not putting a bypass damper in. But I know that EWC and all these other brands start to come out with these static bypass dampers. I hadn't tried them out yet. The bypass dampers is kind of it's scary with all the compressors I had to change out because of them.
Right. Well, I tell you what, RM, that guy I was telling you about earlier, Joe Shear, he's got some really good videos on zoning. Joe knows a lot about, but so does Curtis, but I don't think Curtis has any videos, do you?
No.
But Joe Shear's got some good videos on zoning.
All right. Cool.
And yeah, I can't help you there, man. I don't know shit about zoning. Like I said, Curtis has helped me with zoning before over the phone. But Joe, I don't know if I would get into zoning, and I'll let the guys in the chat can chime in, and Curtis, you can tell me what your zone panel of choice is. A lot of the most popular one that I hear of is EWC, and then of course Honeywell's got one, and yeah, I don't know the other ones. I think Train makes their own. If you do their inverter, I think Carrier makes their own. But as far as besides the Carriers and the Trains, what's yours of choice? Zone panel.
The best zone panel I like right now, as of course Nathan said, is Carrier Infinity. It literally, when you hook everything up, you turn it on, the system literally sizes every single zone by the static pressure it needs to be, and it sizes the system what stage it needs to be. And that's really awesome. I hadn't tried to Train yet. I know Rude's supposed to be coming out with one, supposed to be by the end of the summer, which I'm kind of curious about that because it's made by EWC.
Oh, okay.
But
do you like
panel?
Do you like EWC products?
Yes, I love it.
Okay. No, Unknown Hero. I don't deal with a lot of mini splits. I don't.
Now, there was a thing, there was a product that they showed on Ask This Old House where it was the vents. They were just changing out the vents, and they basically had built-in, they were like basically zones somehow, and you can control it from your phone.
I don't know nothing about that.
I saw that at Lowe's.
So it's a homeowner special. It look like.
Mini splits is a good topic. Ted Cook, Ted's been loading a lot of videos lately, and he doesn't like mini splits at all. I like them. I think they have their place. I think that some people, I'm not trying to get off zoning topic, but I guess this is kind of, mini split, you can zone stuff. I just think that mini split, some people go out of hand with it. They take the traditional forced air system out of their house and mini split the whole house. That's something I would never do to somebody's house or my own house. I do think that mini splits have their place. Like if you close up a garage or you have a sunroom that you can't get that you can't get air into. I think a mini split is the best, is the cat's meow when it comes to that kind of stuff. Or if you add on a bonus room to the house, like a man cave, or if you got a shop, in my opinion, mini split is the way to go. But as far as saying,
I have to agree with you there on too, John.
Yeah. But as far as taking out the forced air system and going all mini split, I don't know, man. To me, that just seems crazy. Nathan must have something to say because he jumped back in here.
Yeah, as soon as I hung up, you guys got me really going here. So I'm back on. Let's go back, start with zoning. I heard the same thing that, you know, that Ream and Root is working with EWC to come out with something competitive to the Carrier. I can't wait for that because the amount of I get ripped off on those boards, like I said, and the product, it's outrageous. But there's 2 points I want to just bang through everyone's head, whoever's listening, about zoning. Number one, zoning is a comfort. It's not energy savings. If you want to be honest, it's a great comfort product.
Right.
Who's the other guy online? I'm terrible with names. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Curtis.
Number two.
Yes, it is.
And there two, the challenge is the airflow. You can't choke out a machine. You're going to destroy the compressor and you're going to freeze over. You have to have that minimum airflow. So the question is how you deal with that. If you could have a dump zone, like a living room that no one cares, either that's the room that needs extra cooling or if it gets a little bit. No, well, the concept is that zoning, if you're just doing 2 or 3 zones, normally the one room that you want a little colder or hotter, it doesn't need a run for 25 minutes extra. It's just a few minutes. You know, it is one house. So a dump zone is the way to go. So you're always moving the right amount of airflow. One room that you don't care about at that time will get a little colder, but you could get like a bedroom or a certain exercise or whatever you want, that extra run time to bring up the temperature if you need it, when you need it. So I think those are the 2 main points. How are you going to deal with that low airflow when you only have one zone cooling? A dump zone takes care of that. And Carrier Infinity, obviously, with the modulating equipment, 2-stage equipment, makes everything much easier. But that's the challenge, the low airflow. You know, when only one zone or 2 zones out of whatever you have is cooling. So Carriers modulates and it'll open. It will make sure you have enough airflow by hook or by crook.
Yep, as it needs it.
Because it knows each zone and it actually modulates. It's not every damper is not open close. It could go in between, like it has 15 steps from open to close. That's my take on the zoning. Now, what were you just talking about again? Mini splits. I think mini splits is going to crash and burn so badly because I'm a Fujitsu elite technician. Okay, you can't fix these things without tech support.
I'd have to agree with that because the couple that I've worked on, I haven't had to troubleshoot, but maybe 2 or 3, and I've had to call tech support on every one of them. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a mini split god or a mini split certified technician because I'm not. Now I've installed, I'm not going to say a bunch of them, but quite a few. But yeah, mini splits are something different.
They're great.
They're nothing but a fancy window unit.
They're oversized like crazy because you don't need 9,000 BTUs in any bedroom.
Right.
Okay. Almost. I mean, maybe the houses I do, but they're not putting in ductless anyways.
Exactly.
I think it's a great flyby product. There is no one to service them. If anyone's new and wants to find full-time for life work, go down to factory training for any ductless company, the big 4, Daikin, Fujitsu, Mitsubishi, and I missed one probably, but whatever. Who else is out there?
LG.
They're not on my map. They're gone. They burned.
Is Samsung on it?
I think it's just Mitsubishi, Fujitsu, and Daikin. There might be one more I'm missing.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though, man, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, you got to be, guys, tell you something about YouTube. You got to watch what you say because people, they'll fucking hound you. But in my opinion, Mitsubishi's the way to go.
Well, I think it depends on who distribution, where in the country you are. Where I live, Fujitsu's the way to go. They're much cheaper and they're much better tech support.
They are cheaper.
I don't have no problems. I install so many Fujitsus. I just don't think it's a quality long-term product. They're short-term products. Sometimes they last something. But there's no one that knows how to fix it. Once the year warranty's gone and someone calls me up, I tell them, find someone else.
Because it's a frog.
And now I got guys going on eBay and buying a whole system for $900. They want me to install it. No way. I'm not getting near that stuff.
Yeah, I like the Mitsubishis. I really do. Now I'll tell you another one. The last mini split that I put in, it's probably been about a year ago. It was a Gree. And I was very impressed with the Gree. I think I did a video There may be a video of it on my YouTube channel. I'll have to check. But I was very impressed with the Gree. I really was. Because, Gree, well, not for much longer, but they make Train and American Standards mini splits. And they make a few others. But Train is actually partnering up with Mitsubishi.
Correct. And they're going to be coming out with all those crazy combinations. You're going to get inverter outside, like the ductless style with a regular air handler inside. Right. And everything's going to go wild.
Yep. Nathan, are you in my Facebook group?
I don't do Facebook. I do Instagram and a little YouTube.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, I miss out on all the good stuff, but that's life. It's my choice.
I hear you, man. Sometimes Facebook
is way too much. I still, I'm old school.
Yeah. Look, I had got off of years ago. I had got off of Facebook for the longest time. Facebook is fucking crazy. But it is it's a good way to get business and stuff, and what's cool about the guy that I work for now is he's a friend of my father's, and he's a small outfit like we were. And he's like, look, he said, if you want to do you a side job, he said, I ain't got nothing against a man making money. He said, the only thing I ask is don't use my truck and don't use my shit to do it. Hey, no problem, dude. I got my own vehicle and I got my own tools, so I went and set a condenser today for one of my wife's cousins here in town. So, but Facebook's is a great way to get work,
I'll say one more thing on the ductless. I know I'm jumping back over there, but
that's all right. I
love Fujitsu's 9,000 BTU ducted ductless. Now, say that. You want to buy a ducted ductless, man? What'd you say? Well, they got the ducted unit, but it's a ductless system. So I'm not sure what you want to call it. They have all different names for it. But I just call it the ducted ductless.
Right.
And I'll put those in people finishing basements. And I'll put a 9,000 BTU up to 2,000 square feet where I live. And it's no dry air. You got no electric bill. The thing is so freaking small, so quiet. I know how to duct it nicely. It works like a charm. I love it. You could hide the whole freaking machine on top of a laundry room or something. It's so small.
Right. Brian, Daikin bought Goodman. How long has it been, guys? 3-4 years now? Anybody know?
It's been a few years.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian, Daikin bought Goodman. Daikin forced air systems are nothing but a Goodman with a Daikin sticker. Daikin did nothing to improve the forced air side of equipment, okay? Now, Daikin mini splits, I agree, they're great. In my opinion, for me, there's only 2 mini splits I've ever used, well, except for the Gree that I did. But other than that, I've only used 2, Mitsubishi and Daikin. I think Daikin makes a good mini split. But, I hear people tell their customers, oh, well, Goodman got bought out by Daikin, so Daikin completely changed Goodman. It's not bad no more. That's that's bullshit. Daikin did nothing. The only thing Daikin did was say, okay, we're going to build an Amana unit because the Amana condensers have the different louvers. We're going to build an Amana unit, and the Amana also has the hard top on it. We're going to build an Amana unit, and we're going to color it light gray and put a blue Daikin sticker on it. That's it. That's all they did. And in the air handlers, instead of the dark charcoal gray, they went light khaki-looking gray and put a Daikin sticker. That's it. It's still a Goodman. It's still Goodman's technology. So Goodman is still junk, even though they're owned by.
When you hear the bird fly over, go cheep, 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 cheep.
I mean, Goodman is still a piece of shit. Just because Daikin, until Daikin Now, if Daikin would step in and say, okay, look, we're going to fucking redo this Goodman name. We're going to completely redesign the condensers, the air handlers, everything. There's one thing that Goodman has going for them, and that's their gas furnaces. And that's because of Amana's technology. When they bought Amana 12, 13, 14 years ago, however the hell long it's been, Amana always had the best gas furnace on the market because they had a tubular stainless steel heat exchanger. Well, they took Amana's technology and you started using it. They make a hell of a gas furnace. I'll give that to them. Probably one of the best ones on the market. Really nice gas furnace. Wayne says Amana rocks. Well,
if you're in the service business.
Yeah, if you're in the service business and you like to make money, absolutely. Yeah. And it's actually a Goodman with an Amana sticker. I call him Good Mana. You know, we fucked with the guy at the Goodman store years ago. We took a Goodman sticker and we cut the man off. And then we took an Amana sticker and we cut the first A off. And we kind of shimmied them together and stuck it on the door, and it said Good Mana. So that's what I call them, Good Mana. It's all the same shit. It's Goodman. It's all Goodman. You know, until Daikin steps in. And
BP27 brings up a good point. I change a lot of those inducers on the Goodman, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, now 90% furnaces, I can't speak for that. We don't have them here because in Louisiana, we don't use a lot of heat. So everything here is 80. In 15, 16 years I've been doing this, I've seen maybe a handful of 90% furnaces in the last 15, 16 years. But so
I hate 90%.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know about that, but you know, other than that, they do make a hell of a furnace. But until Daikin steps in and completely retools the factory and gets away, and they just built a brand new factory in Houston and shut all the other ones down. They had the perfect opportunity for Daikin to retool and say, look, we're going to improve Goodman. We're finally going to make Goodman Greatman. And they didn't do it. They're still sticking to the same old shit.
Well, did you get a tour down in Texas? If you have some connections, you could get a nice tour of the factory.
I haven't been. I've been to the
I heard that's good. I heard that's really cool.
Well, I've been to the old factory in Houston. I haven't been to the new Daikin factory in Houston yet, but I've been to the older Goodman factories. There was like 3 of them in Houston. And I've also been to the one in Tennessee. Now, the one in Tennessee, that was the Amana plant. That's where Amana built all their shit. Amana built their condensers there, their furnaces, their coils, everything. But I've been to that one for Goodman, and I've been to the Houston ones, but I have not been to the new Daikin factory yet. So
I still wonder, really, you know, I'm pretty new to this. I'm only in business like 5 years, believe it or not. And I still feel it has a lot to do with the installation. The brand makes a little bit of a difference, but if you put in a Daikin perfectly right, everything's vented properly, the static pressure is good, the venting's good, and the brazing, the vacuum, I see Goodman's lasting quite a while.
No, you're right, Nathan. And I want to address that, what you just said, and some of these guys in the comments. They said, what's my complaints with Goodman? Everyone has their opinions. Okay, here, guys.
They sell them in ShopRite and Superstop, you know?
Yeah. Look, okay, here's my thing with Goodman. Yes, if you take a Goodman and you put it in right, just like Nathan said, it'll last. I know that, guys. But my problem with Goodman is what got me was Goodman came to us because we were such good friends with the guys at the Goodman store. Me and my dad have always hated Goodman, and they convinced us to buy the Amana line, which is the same thing. We did it back in 2008, and that was when the evaporators were having issues. Guys, I have changed so many Goodman evaporator coils that it would, if you guys went through what I went through with Goodman, you would hate Goodman too. That's
Went through. Everybody had their year they went through and they switched from copper to aluminum.
But you're right, Nathan. I agree with you, but not like Goodman. I mean, Goodman was bad. The only other one I could say that was as bad was, and I didn't install the product, but I changed a lot of them, was Lennox. But Goodman was bad. Another issue with Goodman is they'll sell to anybody.
That's the big issue.
Anybody that walks through that fucking door, pardon my French for those of you that I've been trying not to cuss as much on YouTube. Anybody that walks through that damn door, they will sell you a Goodman. That's another issue. It's available online. Now, I know that there's other brands that are available online, but your major brands aren't. I mean, I'm telling, I have seen some of the shittiest people that damn good and well they have nothing to do with air conditioning, and they walk in that damn store and they just sell them a Goodman.
Hell, Walmart sells Goodman.
Exactly. I've seen Goodman's on Walmart's website. And guys, here's another thing. Yes, we can all argue and agree that equipment is equipment. They're all pretty much using Copeland scroll compressors, Gentech fan motors, Broad Ocean fan motors, whatever. But guys, Goodman is a very cheaply built unit, and you can argue and say no, it's not, but it is. The air handlers are flimsy. They're very, very flimsy. The condensing units. I mean, guys, you ever changed a fan motor on a Goodman? The fucking louvers flop out.
Yes.
And when you go to put
that's my bread and butter. Don't stop.
You go to put the shit back on after you change the fan motor, and you need 3 people because when you push this corner in, this corner pops out. So you put that corner in, and then that corner pops out. It's cheap. It's cheaply made. And now
change the squirrel cage every time you change the fan motors.
Right. And
you get to sell some more stuff.
Yeah. And now recently they went to this, what do they call it? 5 millimeter copper tubing. It's not microchannel. And don't even get me started on microchannel, but they went to this 5 millimeter copper tubing. Well, yeah. Oh, it's more efficient, better for 410A. Well, that may be true, but guess what? You can't pump it down. And God knows if it's a Goodman, you're going to be pumping it down a few times to make repairs, so you can't pump it down because the copper's not big enough. It won't hold unless it's a heat pump. Now, if it's a heat pump, they use bigger copper, and of course you got an accumulator and all that. But if it's a straight cool, you're not pumping it down. It's just like a microchannel. You got to recover it, So, yes, Josh, all coils are aluminum now. But let me tell you something. It helped Goodman when they went aluminum, but it did not solve their problem because I have changed my fair share of Goodman aluminum coils. I really have. And guys, I have a reputation of bashing equipment and this and that, and I'm trying not to do that anymore because I know it's all pretty much made the same. But I feel very strong about Goodman, and I think I always will because of what I've been through with Goodman. I just don't like it. I think it's junk. I really think it's junk. I mean, I guess it is good though. It's as long as it's not one of mine, and but it's they keep you busy. That's for sure.
All right, I'm gonna, for all the new guys, if there are new guys over here, young in the trade, Factory training is the way to go, I think, after YouTube. Of course, this channel is the first place to go. Factory training got to be one of the best places to go for training. I never went to tech school myself. I'm not sure anything about it. I don't see guys coming out knowing much, at least on the Jersey Shore. But we got to get together and do some factory training together, man. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Good date, midwinter. We'll party, man.
Josh says it's like Ford versus Chevy. Look, Ford versus Chevy, that's an easy debate. Buy a Ford. You know, that's I mean, there's no debate there. You know, you want to haul a heavy load, buy you a Ford. You want to swallow a heavy load, get you a Chevy.
I drive a Suburban. Don't knock it, man.
Well, I hate to tell you, man, but
I'm a Ford guy.
Have you ever heard? Does the word recall mean, you know, ring a bell to you?
Well,
he says
I think it has to do with where you live in the country, man. I wouldn't touch a Ford.
Well, okay.
I'm a certified ASC mechanic before I went into air conditioning.
Well, so you know that recall rings a bell. What about the word bailout?
Oh boy.
Government motored owned company.
Bailout. Case closed, man. I'm sorry.
Although I do have to say, Chevy's got the 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ford only goes to 60.
It doesn't matter, man. Ford go infinity miles. You don't need no fucking warranty on the
I'm
Ford.
a Ford guy, so I don't care.
Look, dude, Ford's so badass. You don't even need a warranty. I mean, I'd buy a Ford with no warranty.
What's up, man?
I have 2 Chevrolet vans that broke down.
Oh yeah, the truck I'm driving right now, I'm in a Chevrolet, and I'm sure there's some guys out there that are like, "Oh yeah," but I'm in a Chevrolet right now that the motor had to be replaced at 55,000 miles. You know,
damn it, man.
Wow.
But you know, you drive a Ford, shit, they go infinity miles.
You mean on the road broke down?
No, Fords don't break down.
Come on, man.
That's
I had an old service van. We had to rebuild.
Well, I tell you the same thing I just told Nathan. If you're a Chevy guy or a GM guy, there's 2 words that should be very familiar to you: recall and bailout.
Yeah.
And see that shuts up every Chevy guy, Curtis. You ever notice that when you say that?
It does.
They're like,
but
yeah.
I have one word back. The Suburban, man. There's nothing that beats their Suburban. Everything else I'm all right with.
Well,
I love the Escalade. I love the Suburban. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Beast.
I mean, you know, now look.
Hey, all brands have their problems. So I'm just going to say that.
I'll tell you this. There are some Chevrolets that I do like. Now, back in the day, your muscle cars, you couldn't beat Chevrolet. You know, my dream car is a 1970 Chevelle SS 396. You know, back then I think Chevrolet had it. But when it comes to trucks, like what we all do for a living, you know, you always have a load inside the truck with all the stuff we carry. Are you pulling a trailer? Chevrolet can't even come close to Ford. I mean,
Silverado is 10 times better than F-150, man.
Oh, good Lord, dude. Who brainwashed you, man? Yeah, because you know what a Silverado does? When you put a load on it, it does this.
Good point.
That nose comes up. Look, even Nathan, a Chevy guy's like, good point.
I'm not a Chevy guy. I'm a Suburban guy. I take it back. No more Chevy guy.
I mean, that's what they do, man. Chevrolets, they sit down when you put a trailer on them. And then when you press the damn gas, you got to load. They sound like they're about to blow the hell up.
All right. So how big's the compressor in an average car? Let's go that way, man.
3 ton, ain't it?
No, it's true. The smallest car compressor is typically around 3 tons. Now, I'm looking for a good kit that when a guy's out of AC in a hot day, adapt all that freezing cold air straight to your house, man. Leave your car running. That's 3 tons right there, baby.
This is funny. One of the guys in the chat, Brent, he said, "I heard the ACs and Fords are built by Goodman." That's funny.
My AC blows nice and cold in my Ford.
Oh yeah.
Nissan makes a pretty good service truck. I have one of those.
Oh yeah. There's another comment. You know, Ford recently announced that they're dropping all their cars.
Yeah, the Fusion line.
The only car that they're going to keep is the Mustang.
They're going to do a Focus.
Right, and one
It's
Focus.
a weird one, like a European one.
And people are like, "Oh, why is Ford doing that?" You know, blah blah blah. And I'll tell you why. Because women nowadays don't want cars; they want SUVs. Well, Ford is so badass that their their SUVs are getting better fuel mileage than the competition's cars in an SUV. So a woman can get a bigger vehicle, an SUV for her kids and haul her groceries in and get better fuel mileage out of an SUV instead of having to buy a car. And that's why Ford is getting rid of their cars.
Okay, tell me this then. Who's got the most championships in NASCAR?
I don't know. I don't watch NASCAR.
Manufacturer, Chevrolet.
I have no. Well, you know that's speed. I mean, you know, like I said, muscle cars back in the day. Yeah, Chevrolet had it. You know, Chevrolet might make a faster car than Ford. I could give a shit less about fast cars. I'm talking about trucks and towing shit.
Ford's built for work.
Absolutely.
Ford built tough.
Ford is built for work.
There you
Ford
go, John. I just sent you
makes
something.
Okay.
Hey, John, man, your boy Gil be going everywhere. He can't keep one channel. He'd be switching up too many times.
Oh, that's
I still haven't had a chance to confront him yet. He won't talk to me.
that's a nice picture, Curtis. That's an eco boost too, ain't it?
Hey, that's a half-ton pulling a 3/4 ton load and one even back there.
Yes, sir. You know, Charlie, I'm not trying to be a dick, man, but I whatever he's doing, dude, I really don't even care. It's all good, man.
I know, man, but I just want him. He shouldn't be ducking me around. You know, me and you talked about how I feel. You know, I believe in going to church. I done told you how I feel. You know, he's supposed to be your friend. If you're somebody's friend, you stick with your friend. Don't switch up because you suck at videos. He sucks at videos, and his views suck. So he's got to keep on going to different channels. He can't never make it, and he's hating on you because you're making it. I just want him to have a talk with me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to confront him about being a friend, being an honest friend. Because if he's doing that, just imagine what he's doing to customers.
Hey, you know, like I said, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, it's not an issue to me. After me and him had our falling out, I decided not to podcast anymore. I'm doing YouTube, and you know, it's not going to go anywhere. The podcasting is already starting to die off anyway. I mean, you know, Ralph got out of it, and
yeah,
you know, look, here's the thing, man. I tried it. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I don't think I'll ever do it again because it's really time consuming. But Brian Orr from HVAC school, he's got that world locked down.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the best HVAC podcast out there, and Gil or nobody else is going to top him. And it's, you know, I leave that to Brian Orr. You know, Zach does a good job. You know, even though me and Zach had a falling out, Zach does a really good job with his podcast. You know, because he's good at that. He's good at that kind of stuff. So, you know, kudos to him on that too. But, you know, there's a lot of other podcasts out there that are really bad. You know, and this, you know, we'll see what happens with his. I heard that he was starting up another one, I think, with Kelly McKay. And I don't have a problem with Kelly McKay. You know, I've known Kelly McKay for several years through YouTube. But, you know, we'll best of luck to him, you know. But
Let me ask you this. Is he doing this new? And then we'll drop. Is he doing this new channel because he had a falling out with them too?
who?
Gil.
A falling out with who?
Zach. When he on with Zach and Ralph?
Well, I don't know, man. Like I said, after me and him busted up, I know he got on YouTube with Ralph, and you know they pretty much just talk shit about me for a couple hours. But like I said, I really don't want to discuss all this because I'm past all that.
I know,
but
I was just asking.
Yeah, no, but like I said, it is what it is. That's Josh. That's my last name. My last name is Israel. But anyway, you know, best of luck to whatever he decides to do. But, you know, it's a lot of work. He'll find that out. But unless he's going to have Zach edit his podcast, because I know that Zach was looking for some guys to, I don't know, I think he was wanting to find some podcasters that he could take care of. So, but anyway. How you doing, Mike Clark?
Yeah, I heard your thing about y'all talking about the zoning. Remember I told you I just came back from Chattanooga, Tennessee, moved back home to Florida, Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
And I had to get used to it again because, hell, I went to one house, man. They had damn zoning on a green speed. Like, on a carrier green speed. And they wired all the dampers up wrong and blew the plenum box apart. In a $3 million home for a doctor.
Damn. Well, yeah, I mean that's where a lot of guys use zoning is on those high efficiency units. I don't know shit about zoning myself.
Yeah. Well, Chattanooga is mainly metal duct. Here it's mainly duct board. Most of your units are stuffed into a closet on a stand. You can do a change out 3 or 4 hours here in Jacksonville, Florida, where up there you're looking anywhere between 6 to 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because some out there you'd be dragging a damn furnace from the crawl space door all the way to the other end of the house, under a house, across bricks, and you had to take plumbing just to roll it across the damn ground to get to the other side of the house.
Yeah.
It's a big difference down here. Man. Do it again.
Yeah.
Call over more. There's 282 contractors here in the city. Well, the problem is down here is if you open up a business and you have somebody qualify you, that one guy can qualify 3 businesses to have their company started. Where in Tennessee, the license holder had to open the business up in his name, which that's how most of the business are here. But a lot of these foreigners are coming in and helping their buddies out, and you see 3 businesses with the same license number. I'm like, how the hell is this possible? And then they're talking about, well, if you have
their jobs.
It's hectic down here.
All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'm about to pass out.
I hear you, man. I'm probably going to get off of here before too long myself. It's been a long time since we done this, though. I had a good time.
Yeah, it's been a while, but
yeah,
these 80-hour weeks are getting to me.
I hear you, man. I'm pretty tired myself, but I definitely did enjoy getting on here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you later, John.
Okay, cool. Curtis. Holler at me sometime, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
All right, man.
Have a good night.
But you are right, man, about the NATE certification. That's like the dumbest test I ever took in my life. It really doesn't. When you take the test, you can answer your questions professionally about how you've been taught in the trade, but it's all about answering the questions to the way they like it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's you know, hey, look, if the NATE, you know, and I got caught a lot of heat off of that post, but I was just joking around. And I mean, which really that is what the Nate means to me. I have no desire to get the Nate, but but hey, if it helps you get a raise or whatever, hey, and I'm not talking about just you. I'm not singling you out. I'm talking about you or anybody else out there. If your boss tells you, hey, if you get your Nate certification, I'll give you $3 or I'll give you $2. Hey, go get that son of a bitch. I mean, it definitely can't hurt anything. But but around here in Louisiana, don't nobody give a shit about Nate.
Yeah, here in Florida, Chattanooga, they don't have a union up there. Usually down here in Florida, it's usually you have journeyman or Nate guys. I got a lot of buddies that work. They make damn good money. They work $45 an hour.
Hold on a second, Spectre. Spectre, that's hilarious. No, that's my son. My son has an obsession with the blinds. Yeah, he's one of the guys talking about the blinds behind me that are tore up. My son, that's the third set of blinds I have put on that window. And every time I put a new set, he goes over there and tears them up. So, but like I said, he's autistic, so it's really not his fault. But it's only those. Every time I put a new set of blinds right there, he goes and he gets a hold of them. So I can't really get mad at him and, whip him or nothing because he doesn't understand. It's not his fault. But that was a funny comment though. But no, that's what it is though. He likes to. So I'm not changing him until he decides to get out of that habit. I'm gonna leave him be. Yeah, watching for me to come home. You're probably right because he, unlike a normal, usually the boys are mama's little boys, but I mean, not that he don't love his mama, but he loves to be with his daddy. So anyway, yeah, he'll outgrow it. So I told Candace, I said, I'm gonna leave them damn blinds up until he outgrows that shit. I'm not gonna keep spending money on blinds.
If you don't mind me asking, how severe is it?
Fortunately, it's the lowest case possible.
So, Asperger's, because I had a friend that had that.
I don't think it's Asperger's. My wife knows more about it than I do.
A good friend of mine I grew up with has it, so I understand it a little bit.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't get to participate in the activities, that they do with him because I have to work.
Yeah.
My wife takes care of that mostly. Sometimes I can get off early or take a lunch break and I'll go, but I don't get to participate as much as I would like to with some of his activities. But I don't think it's Asperger's. I know it's not severe. I mean, he's behind. He's 4 and he doesn't talk. He's still not potty trained, and he doesn't talk. Now, I mean, he can communicate with you, but he does it without talking. He can tell you when he's hungry or when he wants something to drink, but he does it without talking. Not that he can't talk. It's just that he just doesn't want to, I guess.
Gotcha.
But ever since we moved to Lafayette, he's been in a really good program, and we've seen some good improvements lately. So
that's good.
So he is, so he is improving.
That's good to hear. That's I guess one of my concerns is in starting out in this trade. If I'm not going to be around for my kids at some point, or be around the family, if it's a sacrifice.
Here's the thing. The guy that I work for now, the company that when I first moved here, I was working for a pretty large company. And, they told us that during the summer, they were going to work us 70, 80 hours a week. The company that I work for now, we don't work that much. It's a small shop. And he does that on purpose for us because he wants us to be with our family. So
it really depends.
Right. And I took, with this guy, I took a $1 an hour cut in pay to start. But what's great about him is that in the wintertime in Louisiana, things get really, really slow. Sometimes it's very, very hard to get your 40 hours during the winter here. Well, he guarantees you 40 hours no matter what. So during the winter, if we only work 10, 15 hours a week, he still pays you for 40. And
That's
that was
good.
now, and he's a friend of my dad's. And that's so between, paying the 40 guaranteed during the winter and being a friend of my father's, that's what made me go to work for him. He doesn't work us to death so that we can, spend time with our family. And we're only on call once a month. So it's not a bad deal at all. I mean, I don't want to work 80, and that might sound lazy. I don't want to work 70, 80 hours a week. And it's not because I'm lazy. It's because I want to see my family. I want to spend time with my kids. So I'd much rather work less hours with him.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, I guess, I'm trying to, find the right company. It just seems like no one's, they're not very family oriented, either of these companies that I've been with. And
they're
it's just
hard.
a struggle.
They're hard to find, man. I mean, like JTR just commented, it is a good gig. No, Brandon, it's not 24 hours. The phone shut down at 9:00 at night. Every night, 7 days a week, but the phone shut down at 9:00 at night. Guaranteed 40 in the winter. You don't find a lot of people that'll guarantee you your hours. They'll during the winter here when it's slow, they'll tell you, look, we ain't got nothing going on. Go on ahead and go home for the day. And they're not going to pay you. And that's what's really cool about this guy too. Most employers would say, yeah, I'll pay you 40 hours, but you're going to sit here at the shop all day. This guy doesn't do that. If there's no work during the winter, he'll tell you, just go home and be on standby. If I need you, I'll call you. And he still pays you, even though you go home. The only thing that he asks is that when he does send you home during the day, just keep your phone on and be available in case he needs you. And, if somebody's going to pay me to go sit at the house during the winter, I'm more than happy to keep my phone on me and be available if he needs me.
Does he give you good benefits?
Oh yeah. I mean, we got paid holidays. I'm off Monday, and it's a paid day off, and got the the health insurance, all that shit. So
that's a big thing for me right now because I'm going to be off the parents pretty soon.
Right.
So it's something I'm really trying to rush to get taken care of. Trying to get
I'm not jumping from company to company, and so, and like I said, I'm not going to get in an argument with you. I'm not going to put up with shit. My whole life I've worked with my father, and recently I left and came to Lafayette, and I've already explained that. So I'm not jumping anywhere. Yes, Robert, I moved to a different city because of my son. Like I was explaining. You can rewind the video and you'll hear the story about that.
So let me ask you this. So do you think Carrier, if you want to be their dealer, authorized factory dealer, you think that they get a cut from Nate? Because to be a dealer, you have to have that Nate certification. I don't know if you have a journeyman's license, can you get the same thing or not?
They're in Louisiana. Unknown hero. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. There is no journeyman and HVAC and all that here. As far as Carrier, what they do, I would never ever become a factory authorized dealer. Not because of the Nate thing. I mean, I would get the Nate for that. But because they charge you money for that shit.
Yeah, it's like $1,200 a month.
Exactly. I'm not going to pay you to sell your product. York tried to do that to me. Train tried to do it to me. I was a Carrier dealer. They tried to do it to me. You want me to, here's the way I look at it. You want me to buy your product and then pay you a monthly fee to sell it? It's not going to happen. And they tell you, oh, well, we're going to do this for you, and we're going to do that. We did it 1 year with York. 1 year. It was $5,000 a year. and they let us pay on it monthly. At every month, they would put it on our statement for what we owed them for the month. Our equipment plus the monthly fee for the dealership. They promised us all kind of shit. They were gonna do some advertising for us and there was a list of shit. They didn't hardly do none of it. We did not get our money out of it. So from there on out, I mean, I'm not paying somebody to sell your product. Yeah. You know, I just to me that's bullshit. I mean, I'm already buying the product, and now you want me to pay you a monthly fee to sell it? I mean, I'm just not going to do it.
So what made me mad with Carrier though is, you know, like you say, you pay, and you get your technicians NATE certified. Then, like when I was up at Chattanooga, I'm like, we're paying these people this much money a month. They will charge us to deliver equipment to our shop. But we
they didn't do that here. I mean, if we need something delivered, no, there was no charge for that.
They charge $20 charge.
That's bullshit. I mean, there's no way I would deal with somebody like that. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you're buying thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment a year and they're charging you to deliver it, that's bullshit, man. York used to drive it to me from here, from Lafayette to where I lived in Alexandria, about an hour and 15 minutes to me, no charge. I mean, so let me answer a couple of these questions real quick. Robert, I hear you, man, but it's just, you know, things happen. Zach and Ralph chose to do what they did to me, and that's it. There was something else. This guy said, did I sweep it under the rug with Zach? I mean, look, I'm not mad at Zach. You know, he doesn't talk to me. Sometimes I tried commenting in his Sunday swag thing, but he doesn't talk back to me. So, you know, it is, I talk to the guys in the chat though. And, but you know, like I said, him and Ralph chose to, you know, they accused me of scamming somebody with a tool. Most of y'all know the story. So it's, and then a bunch of other bullshit, but you know, it is what it is. I just moved on, man. I tried doing, you know, another podcast, but I like doing the YouTube thing. I've been uploading a video just about every day. So that's what I enjoy doing, but
appreciate it. I learn a lot from your videos.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you watching.
Thanks. You know, more than what I learned at the continuing education class that I took. I mean, the only good thing I got was the EPA certification out of it. Otherwise, it's like, oh yeah, this is it. You know, this is the pristine procedure where you have lots of room to work on all this equipment, and it just slides right out. Nothing ever fights you. And it's just not realistic.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it wasn't.
I agree with you, James. James Rook, I think it's hey, and you know, James, I just want to comment, man, and I wanted to say thank you for being such a loyal subscriber and follower. You always have kind words to say on my videos and stuff. I appreciate your support. Yes, Yellow Jacket does sponsor my channel. They were a sponsor of the podcast. After I shut the podcast down, I contacted all the sponsors and told them, you know, that I was quitting podcasting. They all left. Yellow Jacket said, hey, we want to continue to sponsor you YouTube videos. So, you know, it's all good with me. So, yes, they do. JTR, I appreciate that. K Services, I can't answer that, man. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't know. I don't speak to those guys. I don't know. I have no clue. I wish I did, but I don't. I don't have a clue. Sydney, I appreciate that, Sydney. Thank you for the kind words, Sydney. I appreciate it.
I got a question for you, man.
All right.
Now, I don't know about the owner of your business, how it is out there. Like I was telling you about you know, a guy with a license can sponsor 2 or 3 companies, but do you think it's fair for a company owner to own a HVAC business because they have a 4-year degree but never done the trade? Never change a capacitor, never change a contactor, but because they got a business degree, they can own a HVAC company.
I mean,
That's not fair, man.
you know, let me put it to you like this. You know, if it's legal and the man's got a degree, he's allowed to do what he's allowed to do. There was a company back in Alexandria where I used to live. Guy was the same way. The guy still has the company. He's got multiple locations. Very, very successful businessman. Don't know a damn thing about heating and air, but he knows how to run a company.
Well, this
and he hired the right people that do know heating and air, and he is a multi-millionaire now.
Yeah.
And he don't know shit about air conditioning, but he's a businessman. He hired a general manager. He hired a service manager. He hired an install manager. Then he hired installers and service technicians. He went from a 3-truck company to, I think he's got 6 locations throughout the state of Louisiana now.
Holy shit.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, if I was smart enough to do something like that, I'd do it. You know, I mean, the guy's a multi-millionaire now.
Well, this guy, he had a company before. He had a qualifier at that time before he took his license, and he had to file bankruptcy. So after 7 years, he went, instead of, you know, using somebody else's license, he got his own license. And I came back in March. I just left him last Friday because he called me one day and said, "How do you program a thermostat?" I'm like, "You're the owner of an HVAC company, but don't even know how to program a thermostat?"
You know, I understand where you're coming from. I do. But like a couple of these guys said in the comment section, a lot of companies are ran that way now. And it's not just air conditioning companies. You know, it's plumbing companies, electrical companies, you know, flooring companies. These guys just know how to run a business, and they just choose to get into a certain industry, and they hire the right people to do that. You know, one comment that I like and hear from Brent, he said it's like Donald Trump running our country. Donald Trump is not a politician, but he's a businessman.
Yeah.
And
what we needed.
And look what he's doing. And now what I'm about to say, I don't know if we have any Democrats in the chat.
This is going to get interesting.
Yeah, I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter.
Yeah, I really don't care. I'm a Republican, die hard, and I am a 110,000,000,000% supporter of Trump. And he's not a politician. He's a businessman, and I'm about to say it. In my lifetime, he's the best damn president we've ever had.
Yeah, I agree. My problem with this guy was, you know, like I said, I came back where I worked before. The guy was a technician, successful businessman. It's just up north, you know, Chattanooga's still the South, but in the wintertime, you work 20 hours a week. But this guy, like I said, had his own business before, and it failed. Now he's trying to open up this business and pay his way in. I've done a bunch of big football players' house, like Jason Babin, 2-time Pro Bowler, put air conditioners at his house. Like, one day I was working in St. Augustine, Florida. Everybody knows that place. And I said, "Man, it's raining and lightning outside." I said, "I'm not taking my vacuum pump out in the rain and lightning, and I'm not opening this system up." He threw a hissy fit, so I ended up having to do it. I'm taking a chance of ruining my vacuum pump. Then he's bitching about how long it takes. I'm like, he's trying to tell me it should take this amount of time no matter what problems you run into. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to be in business for long.
Right.
Because he hired people to just do it. They're fast, but they're taking shortcuts. And, you know, the problem might not show up a week, 2 weeks later, but 3 or 4 years down the road when you start having compressor failures because of unethical install practice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
You got to pull a vacuum. You know, you got to do that stuff. All he cared about was how much money was going to be in his pocket, because he's making all of his money off of property management. 90% of our work was property management.
Well, he just wasn't doing it right. Now I'm not saying that all of them can be successful that way, but if you don't know something about the industry of the company that you own, then you need to allow the people that you hired to do their job and do the job that they were hired to do. So, but obviously that guy wasn't doing that.
Well, his problem was, I'm not racist or nothing, but he was a foreigner.
Right.
And come to find out, I don't got nothing against Muslims. He was one of those. And, I told him I go to church on Sundays. And he threw a hissy fit about it. I'm like, I told you weeks prior that I go to church on Sunday. Schedule my calls after Sunday. Because I'm used to, up north, if I got a call, I answered it and I set up my own time. He's trying to set schedule appointments, start at 7 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night on Saturday and Sunday. I'm like, you can't do that to your service technicians.
Right.
Well,
I mean, unfortunately, they're not going to all be good.
Yeah.
And, and the boss that I got, I'm lucky that my dad knows him, because him and my dad were friends because they were both York dealers, like I've explained in a couple videos. And, I mean, he don't give me no special treatment or nothing like that. I mean, but he's not a hard guy to get along with. And I'm just lucky to have found somebody like that to go to work for. Because the last company that I was working for here, the one that I was working for before, it was a good company. It was. I no hard feelings with them, nothing like that. But the owner, he was kind of a dick. He was kind of a dickhead. And we lost, and he had a really high employee turnover rate because of his attitude. I mean, he was an asshole. He was really never an asshole to me, I guess, because I wasn't there long enough. But I was, the little while I was there, we had we went through 6 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot for the short time that I was there. And it's because of his attitude. He was an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that I work for now, I mean, he is the most laid back guy you can ask for. I mean, it takes a lot to get him upset,
Yeah. Well, this guy, like I said, he had an attitude problem, but he's only been in business for a year and a half, and he's been through 6 guys in 7 months because he thinks people going to respect him when he don't know nothing about the trade. There's certain things you got to do right, and I try to explain that to him. Like, you can't just take shortcuts because you're losing money. It's because you give a break to property management companies. That's not my problem.
Right.
You charge them like you charge everybody else.
James, you're exactly right. See, Charlie, my boss, owner of the company, and he still works in the field with us. He runs service calls with us.
Yeah, that's good.
He drives a truck just like we do, and he runs service calls just like we do. When we got change outs to do, he's there. We all go. He sends all of us. We all go and knock it out. But he's a good guy. The fact that he's still out there running calls with us, I respect that.
Yeah, I would too, buddy.
So, but anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning over here. It might be later, almost about 2 o'clock for some of you guys. I'm Central Time, so
about 2, a little shy of 2 o'clock for me.
Yeah, and I'm just shy of 1. So, yep. All right. Well, guys.
Thanks. Having a good night.
Yeah. Hey, what if you don't mind? What is your name?
Oh, Rich.
I'm sorry.
My name's Rich.
Rich. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you on Facebook?
Richard. I am.
Are you in the group?
Which one is it?
It's called HVAC Brotherhood.
Okay. I'll try to follow that. Is that yours?
It's mine. Yeah. If you just go find it, just type in HVAC Brotherhood and just send in your request to join. Let me know who you are and I'll let you in.
I'll do it. I'll probably do it within the next couple minutes.
That sounds good, man. I'll let you in.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Charlie, thanks for coming in, man. Good talking to you.
You too, buddy.
Rich, very nice to meet you, buddy.
Thanks. Nice talking to you this time. I followed you. I started following you pretty recently.
Well,
Cool.
I appreciate you following me. That that means a lot to me.
Let me
Like
give you
the content.
Thank you.
one shout out to you. Just pray. Tuesday I got 3 job interviews. Just pray for me. Make sure I find the right fit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, will do, man. Will do.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, and everybody in the chat, thank y'all for playing along and your questions and everything. I appreciate the support, and thank you for everybody for all the kind words. All right, guys, y'all take care, and we'll try to do this again real soon.
All right, I think I just sent the request to you.
Okay, I'll check it out. After I shut this down, I'll check it out. I'll let you know.
All right, cool. It's got a picture of me on I have a motorcycle on my profile picture, so.
Okay. All right, man.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you, bud.
Thanks. Nice meeting you guys.
All right. Thanks, guys, in the chat. Again, y'all have a good night.
Yeah. Good luck.